Wow. Hey, when's the last time I actually hit that button right at the top of the hour? It's been a while, and woo. All right, so as usual, it's Monday. We're gonna get caught up on the weekend. Speak clearly, P Dog. And we'll just see what's happening. What's happening in the world today? What's happening? Going to be out there tomorrow. A whole lot of stuff going on. Play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog Studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America. It's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, P Dog Night. And stop the music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, P Dog Night, on this fabulous Monday, November 18th, 2019. My car insurance payment was due today, and I already paid it. I'm happy about that. And I'm just happy to have gotten through another weekend. Boy, the Vikings. I know I don't normally talk football on here, but I had to chuckle because my wife was all angry because we didn't watch the game. Although she saw the first half and she was disgusted by the Minnesota Vikings. They were down like 20-0 or something at halftime and 23-0 early in the third quarter, and she got disgusted not watching it. Me, on the other hand, didn't watch the game. And then somehow in the fourth quarter, they scored a touchdown. And then in the fourth quarter, they scored 20 points and won the game, and we didn't even know it until we looked it up later. So was kind of like, oh, well, that's a little better. She's a longtime Vikings fan. I just live here, Anyway, I wonder, now apparently my notification went out, but it must have went out slowly. Usually people are rolling in, but you know what? Those of you who are here, I am here for you. Good morning, C. Thomas. Oops, wait a minute. That was a crappy bell. Let's try that again. Good morning, C. Thomas, who gets the bell. Hey, there we go. And good morning, Chi-Town Jay and Rolling Bear. And it's just us, guys. It's just us for now. People will figure it out eventually. I did tweet this out. Hey, if you're into that Twitter thing, tweet. Oh, there his duck dog just popped in too. If you want to help me out, though, hey, you can hit that little share arrow down there, right? The share arrow helps me out. Or I'll even send you the tweet. Let me open a new tab here, and I'm gonna just make some clickety clicks, and you all can help me out by tweeting this out too if you are on Twitter and do that kind of thing. So here's the link. I'm putting in the chat. Bingo, ding. There you go. All right. Oh, good morning, Diesel Dave. I see people. Okay, so people are slowly rolling in. That's cool. I hope y'all had a good weekend. I did. I'm trying to remember. Sometimes I get to Monday and I go, okay, what did I do over the weekend? What did I do? And now my son and his girlfriend and my wife and we went out to went for a late breakfast on Saturday at one of our favorite bars where they have this place has a Bloody Mary bar, and which is not unusual, but usually when you have a bar that has a Bloody Mary bar, they bring out the glass with the little celery salt around the rim, and they already poured the vodka in it, and all you got to do is put your Bloody Mary mix and everything else together, right? Not this place. This place has a Bloody Mary bar where you also pour your own vodka. And so they got a setup of like 8 or 9 different types of vodka. I'm talking about, it's not just the cheap stuff either. They had some Stoli Citrus out there. They had some Absolute Pepper out there. They had there's a new brand that a lot of people like. But anyway, it's not just your old cheap ass vodka, and then you pour your own vodka, and then you mix your Bloody Mary mix in. So some people, and now I am a former bartender, so I like balance in my drinks, and so when I make my own Bloody Mary, I still only pour about 1.25 ounces of booze in it. But there are some people who walk out, basically pour a glass of booze and a splash of mix on it so it looks pink. But we did not do that. We were responsible, and I only had one because I had to drive everybody home. So I'm fine with that. And then other than that, I can't even think what we did. We watched some college football, and I worked on my backgrounds. As you can see, my new beautiful set, my new TV, well, my old TV set, is showing up there. So anyway, let's get into the news. Yes, thank you, Richo. Good morning. Good morning, Tyler F. Yes, my morning is going well. I got off work a little early, went and had a nice breakfast, and with a couple guys from work, we stopped at a place on the way home, little greasy spoon place that we really like, and now I'm here, poof, with my reparations coffee in hand, ready to start my day. Oh, there's one of those stupid messages I get every damn time. YouTube's not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. Whatever. I'm hooked up. Let's go. Let's talk about what's happening over the weekend, because there's a few key stories that I went, interesting. And the number one story is the one that I named my stream after. Be woke, get broke. And that's not a message from the usual suspects who would be saying that. A lot of times I hear that from people talking about the movie industry, usually guys who are either somewhat slightly right, or at least, people into the gaming industry, go woke, get broke, or, But here, this came from none other than President Barack Obama. Obama had a be woke, get broke message over the weekend. Now, if you're wondering what I'm talking about, good morning, Cynical Lindsay. Good morning, D.I. Freighter. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, you probably heard this. Most of the people come here are the kind of people who follow the news pretty closely. And so you probably saw this. I saw it on Twitter first, then I saw it in a couple articles. Let's see, just got back from 4 hours of crabbing. Only got 3 legit sizes that say 75 thrown back, 3 crab mothers with babies, which you have to throw back. What a waste of time. Oh, where do you do, out of curiosity, Richard, I'm just reading Richard's chat here. I'm curious where you do crabbing. That's really interesting. I know people who do, who fish for crawfish, but interesting. But our Lord and Savior Barack Hussein Obama was the wokest of wokes. No. Okay, so let's get back to Barack Obama. I got distracted. I'm fascinated by like crabbing, lobster catching, people who do lobsters and crawfish, different kinds of shellfish. It's interesting. But let's get back to Barack Obama. Barack Obama gave us a get woke, go broke moment. And I was fascinated by it. So here, let's see if that artist's going to fit on here. I might have to go full screen. Let's do a full screen on this one. All right. Obama cautions 2020 candidates against going too far left. That was sarcasm. Yeah. No. Yeah. See, Thomas, I understood the joke. I'm smarter than I look, man. Come on now. All right. So Obama cautions 2020 candidates against going too far left. So we'll hear this first. Former President Barack Obama warned 2020 Democrats to avoid moving too far left and tearing down the system at a meeting for the Democracy Alliance on Friday, the Washington Post reports. This is still a country that is revolutionary than this is still a country that is less revolutionary than it is interested in improvement. They like seeing things improved, but the average American doesn't think that we have to completely tear down the system and remake it. I think it's important for us not to lose sight of that. Now, why it matters? Obama said he will remain neutral throughout the primaries. However, some of the big ideas about sweeping change that the former president mentioned seem to align with staunch liberal candidates, Senator Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders, the Post notes. Huh. Oh, that's right. Okay. I keep forgetting you're in Australia. Because there's a lot, like we were in New Orleans not too long ago, and they do a lot of crabbing down there, and also crawfish. But I don't. Are there even crawfish in Australia? I don't know. I know there's crabbing. I don't know if there's, and I don't even know if there's lobster. Where do they do crabs either? Because I also have a friend who lives in Maine, which is like the lobster capital of the United States. But anyway, all right. Why it matters. Obama says he will remain. Okay, I already said that. What he's saying. Okay. My point is that even as we push the envelope, we are bold in our vision, and we have to be rooted in reality. The fact that the voters, including Democratic voters, are certainly persuadable if independents or even moderate Republicans are not driven by the same views that are reflected on certain, left-leaning Twitter feeds or the activist wing of our party, Obama said, per the Post. Obama urged 2020 contenders to push past campaigning on his administration's accomplishments and bring new ideas to the table. Well, which is it? Do you want new ideas, or do you want what you did? Well, what you did. Never mind. I'm not even going to talk about that. I'm not going to talk about it. The 44th president harkened back to his own primary to provide encouragement for the current campaigner, saying, "For those who get stressed about robust primaries, I just have to remind you that I had a very robust primary. Whoever emerges from the primary process I will work my tail off to make sure they are the next president." Okay, so that's kind of the good morning, Captain Funk. Well, hello there. Oh, you talking about me? Anyway, hello, gayest person on YouTube and new person, Pinkalo, the driving ape man. Hello, good morning. So that's kind of that's the minor nuts and bolts of it, right? Well, liberal pundits and activists were not happy. And so the Daily Caller has the liberal pundits, activists strike back after Obama suggests Democrats not move too far left. Oh, okay. Interesting. Crabs also in Maryland. Yeah, I knew there's a lot of crabs in Maryland. Like the king crabs are out in Alaska. Yeah, they have the big giant ones out there too. Okay, interesting. And Maine only pulled 80% of the harvest out of the ocean this year. Prices still went down. Lobsters isn't as popular anymore. I haven't seen that reflected in the stores. I actually price lobster every once in a while in the stores. I haven't seen that yet. Anyway. So the liberal pundits were not happy with the former president. Liberal pundits and activists criticized former President Barack Obama on Saturday morning after he suggested the Democratic Party should avoid leaning too far left ahead of the 2020 election. Democrats laid into the former president after he urged them to consider a moderate approach during a fundraising meeting Friday. Climate activists and pundits turned on Obama, suggesting on Twitter that he was enabling that white supremacists gain a foothold in American politics. That deserves a bell. That's one of those buzzword bell thingies. Let's see. Saying Americans are moderate than these wild leftists is basically conceding that the far-right propaganda machine has prevailed, Peter Dow, a former aide to Hillary Clinton, wrote in a tweet on Saturday. He took credit for starting the hashtag, which was too far left. I launched the too far left tag because I've had it with Republicans, media elites, and corporate Dems enabling fascists while denigrating those who seek economic and social justice. as too far left, he added in a follow-up tweet. So there you go. There's the tweet right there. Too far left. I am so tired of hearing the word fascist thrown around. It's, oh my God. I'll bet you half the people who say it, particularly the ones who protest things, who like to come out and protest shit. I bet 98% of them don't have any idea what the word fascist means, and they just think it means being on the right or Republican. And it's amazing because it's thrown around all the time. I watch. There's a couple of guys on who do just interviews at protests. One of them's Elad. His website's, or his YouTube channel is called Barely Informed, and he went out and he went out at one of these protests and they all hate him. They kind of, they're calling him fascist. He says, well, what does fascist mean to you? What does that even mean to you? And none of them could answer the question. So anyway, other Democrats use the hashtag to express their own positions. Democratic Representative Ilhan Omar of Minnesota, for instance, told her Twitter followers Saturday that if being too far left means believing healthcare is a human right, it's not. And all student debt should be canceled, it shouldn't. Then count me in. Climate activists also weighed in. I'm too far left because I trust scientists when they say we need transformative change in all aspects of society. Eric Holthaus, a meteorologist and activist, said Saturday on Twitter. He linked a 2018 Grist article titled, UN Climate Report Shows Civilization is at Stake If We Don't Act Now. They have a link to this article. I want to read that article. Is this it? Oh, what's hilarious about that? He linked his own article. He wrote the article. That's hilarious. He's a meteorologist. Let's see. No, of course, they don't list his credentials down here. He linked an article he wrote himself. Okay, we'll get back to that. This is not the first time Obama received pushback for warning against going too far left on some issues. Journalist Ernest Owens took exception when the former president criticized woke social justice warriors November 1st during a speech at the Obama Foundation Summit in Chicago. Barely Informing the Lod. Yep, that's a great. That's the channel, D.I. Frater. Great channel. What's interesting, he does have a point of view, but he literally goes out, interviews people, doesn't edit the interviews, just puts them all together, but he literally does not edit the interviews, and he just puts them on his channel. And people out there are always calling him a fascist shit. It's just nonsense. Anyway, but there's a lot of guys do that. Like the dude who does it for the Blaze, I can't remember his name. He's the funny guy. And then there's Fleckus Talks who does that. And a lot of them like to go out there and call, you're a fascist, you're alt-right, you're a whatever. Anyway, but the former president's disdain for the kind of criticism that has become popular to dismiss as cancel culture is misguided, Owens said. Owens said in the New York Times on November 1st. Other writers expressed similar positions. The former president took black and progressive movements to task without understanding his own failure to deliver change. Malachi Javala, an activist and a writer, noted in a November 1st Guardian article. So, and so we get into this too far left hashtag, and let's see. Okay, let's see. Listening to Tim Pool Daily show, Obama warns Democrats they are too far left. Unfortunately, the Democrats are fractured beyond repair. Well, I don't know about that. Well, they're fractured, but so are the Republicans, and I'll get into that sometime later this week. Let's see. Let's just do the too far left hashtag. I'm going to change this real quick. Too far left. There we go. So here's some of the people bitching about the president. Oh, although this is funny. Apparently, Joe Biden got the message because Joe Biden says he won't legalize marijuana because it may be a gateway drug. And the reason I'm laughing is I think that ship has pretty much sailed, Joe. I think, in fact, you're probably going to see a bill. I think there's already a bill in the House of Representatives. I don't know if it's legalizing marijuana, but it's decriminalizing it. I know there's a distinction there that's kind of weird, but I got a feeling, and I think if a bill came across Trump's desk legalizing marijuana in the United States, I think Trump would sign it. I don't think that's one of those issues. I mean, the more you learn about marijuana, it's like, first of all, unlike alcohol, for example, I don't even like marijuana. I don't like the feeling. Remember the day that I accidentally took all the edibles? I thought they were Sour Patch Kids candies, and I ate the edibles, and I had about 10 hours of just. I didn't like it though. I don't enjoy it. But here's the problem, or not the problem. Here's the thing. Marijuana doesn't cause anyone to be aggressive, at least. I mean, think about it. Alcohol does in some people cause aggression. Whereas marijuana doesn't. You never see a bunch of stoned people wanting to wanting to fight, right? So I don't know. But yeah, I think Biden took that to heart. I think Biden's going to be too late though. I think before Biden even has a chance to be president of the United States, which ain't going to happen anyway, I think somehow marijuana is going to be legal in more places than it was before he gets there. Anyway, I'm too far left because I won't be voting for Joe Biden in the primaries. He is recycling the debunked BS catchphrases I heard in grade school during the DARE program years. The real gateway drugs are the ones legally prescribed by doctors. Get your head out of your ass, Uncle Joe. Let's see. No, that desire is reasonable. Too far left is about how you think we should fix the problem. Most of us don't want a housefly buzzing around our house. I don't even know what that means. But not all of us think lighting our house on fire is the way to get rid of the fly. Okay, I see. They're doing an analogy there. You are too far left for denying facts and playing PC games, being more interested in ideology than working people and favoring illegal immigrants over veterans. Okay, that's someone who's... okay, that's someone... okay, let's see. I'm trying to find... Oh, fuck all this we're too far left shit. I'm Bernie or bust. GOP? Oh, GOP never worries about being too far right. They just win with fewer forking votes. I'm not worried about our nominee being too far left. I'm only worried that we keep letting the media and those on the too far alt-right tell us who to nominate. You know what? The alt-right don't give a fuck who you nominate, okay? If the alt-right had their choice, they would probably vote for Yang Gang, okay? I'm not sure why I think that, but they probably would, okay? They don't give a rat's ass who you guys nominate. The ones who are Trump supporters probably think Trump's going to win, and otherwise they'd probably, some of the alt-right. Let's take Richard Spencer for example. Richard Spencer's not a conservative, even though he's a ethno-nationalist, right? Richard Spencer's actually his political philosophies are very socialist, believe it or not. as far as what the government should be providing and doing, whatever. And it's kind of weird, and so I don't know why he even likes, I'm not sure why he likes Trump, but alt-right, the alt-right, yeah, I don't know. What else here? Who else is pissed off at Obama? You left out all the murders the lower class has to endure in their crime-filled neighborhoods, but you don't care about them because nobody cares about the poor. Okay, I don't know who she's replying to. Elizabeth Thorpe? Who the fuck is this? I'm too far left because I'm equal parts horrified and terrified and mad as hell that our children are routinely slaughtered in fourth period biology. Really? Routinely slaughtered. And we had this school shooting in California this weekend, which I really didn't have on my agenda. And a lot of it is because they've kind of you're not hearing the huge buzz about it because I don't know, I don't want to be like I don't want to make this a conspiracy, but it just seems like whenever if let's put it this way. If this kid in California would have been white and had some kind of conservative or white nationalist or any kind of ideology, we would have heard about it constantly. Ever since it happened, it kind of just went away as soon as, I mean, they're still putting it, they're still talking about it. There's talked about the funeral and about 10,000 people showed up. But again, this thing happened in California, and it was a handgun, and it was an Asian kid, and it was none of the things that the narrative, the gun control narrative, would have normally caused it to be amplified. Okay, it's in California where it's probably the hardest state as far as to get a gun, other than like the Chicagoland area, and some certain municipalities make it hard to get guns. But this is in middle of California, okay? And it was a handgun. It wasn't an AR-15. So all the things that they've been talking about with the gun laws that they've been talking about, we're going to ban assault weapons. This was a handgun, okay? It was a 16-year-old kid who wasn't legally able to have a handgun. Now, wait a minute. I thought if you said you made something illegal, they wouldn't be able to do it. And by the way, when I talk about stuff like this, I don't want anyone to ever think that I am denigrating the victims. I have the greatest sympathy for the victims. And this is not about the event. This is about how people react to these events and their supposed solutions. And how it's covered, because the coverage ends on this one as making it a national story for a small amount of time, so that we have this man bites dog event. Now, and there was another shooting in California, in a home. This was a home invasion. Again, criminals invading a home and shooting people. I think it was this last night. But these events, on the big scale of things, them constantly amplifying some of these events, makes you think that this is so common. And so when this woman says, where did it go? Oh, it's one of these refresh things that this thing did. Talking about how, oh, here it is. Hang on. So when she says, mad as hell that our children are routinely slaughtered in fourth period biology classes. Well, they're not. Again, they're not. But you would think they are. You would think that, and now you have these, school districts having active shooter drills and all this other crap, but I don't know, it's frustrating. But so far, all the proposed gun laws I've been reading about recently would not have stopped this kid either. And we still don't know we don't even know where he got the gun from. He very could have well taken the guns from his parents in his home, and still none of the laws they proposed would have changed that. Okay? So now are we going to attempt to rewrite the Second Amendment to just ban all guns? I don't know that's going to happen in this country. I think that ship is so far sailed. The New Zealand gun buyback, you know how few guns they've gotten from that buyback? They supposedly, after that New Zealand incident, they're supposedly, we're going to, everyone needs to turn in their guns. We're taking them away. Not even close. Not even close. They've barely gotten any as far as the number they know that are out there to what has been turned in. So I don't know. Anyway, let's see. Anything else? Let's see. Civility is the tool of the 1%. Ain't got no time for that too far left BS. And she quote tweets this crazy woman. I'm sure you saw this over the weekend. Is it? Oh, hang on.
Obama. Me too.
Here, let's see.
I completely and utterly disagree with Barack Obama. Me too. I go online exactly to tell people to fuck off when they attack me.
Oh. Well, okay. A lot of people do that, but let's continue.
At this point, I will utter a language warning on the program.
No, honestly, it's, this idea of respectability, this idea of civility, this idea of unity, all of these words, decorum. Who invented those words? Those words were invented by white men.
Oh, really? So the words invented by white men. Well, here.
For the benefit of other white men.
Oh, is it?
In systems and institutions that were always designed to be for white men.
Okay. Now that's an interesting statement. So, civility, decorum, I don't remember what the other word was. Well, first of all, aren't those based in Latin roots? In theory, Latin came from Latinos. Or the Greeks and the Romans, who were, they were the people of color of the day. I don't know. They kind of ruled the world at the time, but it's weird that you can't. So the words themselves, decorum, civility, does that make them null and void? That the words progressed into the language via any particular race or gender or whatever? I don't know. This lady's nuts.
And they weren't designed for women like you and me and so many others. Like you said, people of color and gender diverse people.
Oh, you're a person of color? Really? What color is that? Maybe I'm missing something here. I don't know. But oh, this woman's a gem.
They never imagined us in those spaces, and then we show up and
wait a minute, but whether they imagined you in it or not, does it mean that once you're in those spaces that it should change? Do you think that the civility and decorum should just be thrown out the window because you add people to the spaces? Or if you're going to enter those spaces, do you at least try to match the feel and integrity of those spaces that you want in? And why are those spaces why do those spaces work the way they do? It's not because of the composition of the people in those spaces. It's because that's the rules of the space. And it doesn't mean that the rules are wrong. And if you don't like the rules, why do you want to be in those spaces? I don't get it, you know? Or can you convince people that the rules should be expanded in some certain way? But remember, you're the one who wants to be in those spaces.
Ruin it for them. And so those who abide by the system, and Barack Obama was part of the system and remains part of the system. I also disagree with his wife when she says when they go low, we go high. No, I fucking don't. If you go low, I'm going to come for you. So
Well, good luck, lady. Oh, okay. Well, then you're going to... Okay, but if you say that you're going to come for me, equal rights sometimes require equal lefts. Just saying. Thank you, C. Thomas, for the $2 super chat in the Streamlabs link, which is in the description box below. C. Thomas says, the fact that Obama had a hand in stoking these unhinged dumpster fires irrelevant. These people now turning on Obama despite worshiping him 4 years ago, running with too far left, is why they'll fail yet again in 2020. You know what? I probably, you know what? Yeah, that's probably accurate. That is now. So when they say the dysfunction of the left, that's that's the fractures right now. There are those like Barack Obama who says, you know, hey, there's the corporate Democrats who want one thing, you know, who kind of just they're the status quo left, so to speak. And then there's the crazy, I'm not saying it's crazy, but there's the far left, the Omars, the Bernie Sanders, the AOCs who want some radical change and they want to go move into the social agenda. There are the intersectional feminists who want all these different factions, you know, to use victimhood as their means of moving things forward. There are, and there's everything in between. But believe there's also those problems on the right. Don't get me wrong, because there are. And you're starting to see it with the Groypers versus the, you know, the, what do they call them? The I call them Talking Points USA, but Conservative Inc. And there's also, if you go, like, for example, even within the black conservatives, the Blexit people, there's the Hoteps, there's the conscious black conservatives, all have different ideas about things. And I'm not a fan of the Blexit group. Although, look, I like the concept of Blexit. I don't know why I'm going off on this tangent. The concept of Blexit, absolutely like, or the Walkaway campaign, or all these others. I just don't like the leadership. I don't like the figureheads in Blexit. But the concept is, mwah, I love the concept. I just don't like the figureheads. And I'm particularly, everybody's favorite, I know it's Turning Points. I call them Talking Points USA. I know. No, that's my running gag on Turning Points USA. I call them Talking Points USA because a lot of times they got their talking points down, but it's very challenging for them when you ask them a question that doesn't fit within the talking points, and that's where you get the stupid. That's where you get Candace Owen with the, you know, the Nazis would have been fine if they'd stayed at home and took care of their own country. When, you know, if she happened to, that came out of her head, I know what she was trying to say, but she kind of just forgot about that whole, you know, gassing of the people of a different religious persuasion part, you know? Anyway, let's listen to the rest of this knothead.
No, I do not have the luxury or the privilege to sit there and be civil with people who do not acknowledge my full humanity.
Who doesn't acknowledge your full humanity, you crazy... it's, oh my God, this lady drives me insane. Drives me insane. What do you mean? Who does it? It has nothing to do with humanity. It just, they don't agree with you. Okay? And you don't think that's allowed. You think you think you should be able to go into that space and yell and scream and kick because they don't agree with you.
I refuse, number one. Number two, there are so many voices who have found their platform on social media finally, after being the gatekeepers, refused to let us in for such a...
That is true. What she's saying here is true. There's a lot of people who've gotten their voices finally because the gatekeepers can't stop them. And I think, you know who benefited from that the absolute most? The person who's benefited from that the most? Donald Trump. The gatekeepers, because normally, although I have to tell you, some of the gatekeepers who tried to, that little Pied Piper strategy, okay, he got some help from the left because they liked the fact that he was running. They promoted him and it backfired on them. But I tell you what, the gatekeepers in the right sure weren't, social media, Donald Trump just walked right by them. What gates? Well, here, see if you can close this gate, motherfucker. And that is a good thing. But let's see how she finishes this thought.
A long time. But there are people who have never had any platform. I'm thinking of young black feminists in the United States, indigenous feminists in the United States and Canada, because I move back and forth between the US and Canada. There is one indigenous woman in Canada who every day tweets about missing and killed indigenous women in Canada. Nobody has bothered to find out what happened to them. In the United States, really incredibly successful campaigns have happened online because we refuse to be civil.
Okay, that has nothing to do with refusing to be civil, though. That's not about refusing to be civil. That just is using the power of social media to get your word out. And that's fantastic. I think that is the greatest thing about social media. You get past the gatekeepers and you get to put what you want out there. And if people that resonates with people, good for you. That has nothing to do about going into not being civil or whatever. It has nothing to do with that. So what the hell are you talking about? It just makes sense.
To those who don't recognize our...
But it has nothing to... to those who don't recognize our humanity. Okay, so you find this powerful way to get your word out, but now you're still a victim. That's what you're saying here. But we're still victims. Oh, she's annoying. What happened there?
So for those who say, be civil, for those who say, be
polite,
I have an entire chapter.
Look at that face she's trying to follow this so hard. Oh my God. Oh, good point, Mike Savage. By the way, hello, good morning. Hello, Tales of Gore. Hey, Zombie Teddy. Renovatio. I hope I'm saying that right. Straight Sith Male. And Pincalo. I said I had Pincalo earlier. I just want to make sure I'm catching everybody who just dropped in. Yeah. The look on this woman's face. She's got that. What you talk about, Willis? Look on her face.
For those who say be polite, I have an entire chapter on the political importance of profanity. And I remind them of...
Oh my God. You know what? Oh, there's a great face. That was perfect. The political importance of profanity. Hey, Seamus Derby. I'm thinking maybe, just maybe, what's that saying about catching a fly with honey instead of vinegar? Although you can catch a fly with You can catch more flies with honey than vinegar, but you can also catch more flies with shit than vinegar too. So maybe that one's not appropriate. Anyway, let's finish this off and get back into this show here.
A feminist called Dr. Stella Nyanzi, who is currently in prison in Uganda because she wrote a poem on Facebook wishing that the mother of the dictator of her country had poisoned him, that her birth canal had poisoned him during birth.
Okay, now... Let's think about what she's saying here. She is equating Uganda with any of the other civilized countries in the world. Now, Uganda is basically a dictatorship. Now, remember how they always kind of compare, and I'm not, this is not exclusive to Donald Trump, because I know there are Republicans too who would compare Barack Obama to being a dictator and so on and so on. But anyone who compares an American president to being a dictator, okay, I don't think what's happened to this woman in Uganda would happen to them if they said that about one of our American presidents, because we have a little bit of different system than Uganda. But she seems to think this is an important point.
When she was taken to court and during her sentencing, she was videotaped in because she's known for her profanity.
Okay.
She stood there in the video, she took off her top, she jiggled her breasts, and she said, "Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you." In court.
Look at her. Look, these two are like, what exactly is the point of this story? Can you kind of get to a point here?
Mona, I talked to you about
Look, these two are like, she's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Oh, did I use profanity? That was the importance of political profanity. Anyway.
Okay, you're watching. That's 3.
I disagree with Barack Obama.
Okay, she got to the point finally. I don't even know. All right, enough of this crap. So, hey, now that the gang's all here, I want to remind you, thank you for being here at the Morning Night Live. The Morning Night Live is brought to you by you, the viewers of the Morning Night Live. If you could be so kind, right down below, there is that share arrow. Share the stream out. Also, if you haven't done so far, go ahead and hit the like button because, wow, 2513. Hey, hit the like button if you remember to do that, or the dislike dog. I know how you like to do that. And if you want to do super chats, so you can see in the Streamlab, in the stream, I got to make that happen more often. I added some features to my Streamlabs thing. But anyway, in the Streamlab link down below, you can do super chats. Speaking of which, C. Thomas with another super chat. Thank you for the $1, sir. The Ronald McDonald Ho proudly screeched about beating up some random dude at a club because she's woke and feminist. 100% grievance grifter. Methinks also she's completely unhinged and unable to hold a rational thought from what I've seen. Yeah, she's interesting. She is interesting. Is she a grievance grifter? Is she one of those people who basically has grievances to make money? I don't know. Anyway, so let's see. Ronald McDonald's grandma. There is talking a ton of crap but not saying anything. Yeah, she really didn't say anything other than she made some weird comparisons, if you ask me. All right, let's get back into some of my stuff that I bookmarked over the weekend. By the way, thank you so much to Tyler F. and Dar for retweeting the tweet that this morning. They can't talk it, say it, but it's really something or another because I can't really talk very well. Thanks to you for retweeting the show. If anyone else, if you're on Twitter and you see the notification on Twitter, I would be so happy and appreciative if you could retweet that. That's probably the number one way that I've been able to grow the show. So, let's see. What else did I have in bookmarks this weekend? I bookmarked a couple other things this morning. We'll check those out real quick. This is kind of a roundup. Okay, so first there was Okay. So, speaking of people being mad at Barack Obama. So here's a thread. This person really, where is my, let's see. How'd that happen? That should be there. Somehow I got these out of order. Okay. So so after that Barack Obama thing came out, this person, Esha, did a thread on the Obama years. And I can't remember if this was just it, or no, someone highlighted this. And this is from 2017. The Obama years in no particular order. Okay, now this is from a more progressive person, so some of the references will mostly revolve around that. But 1.1, 3 days after his inauguration, he launches his first drone strikes. This is the Guardian article, victim of Obama's first drone strike. Fareem Qureshi was 14 with a drone attack on his home left him with horrific injuries, several family members dead, and his dreams for the whatever. Then, even before he is inaugurated, he has Citibank privately vet his campaign. She gave this example of from John. This is from the WikiLeaks email. Citibank does a private vetting of Obama's entire cabinet. Bailing out Wall Street, but not people whose homes were foreclosed upon, expanding the state secret doctrine, that meaning Obama's unprecedented use of state secrets to defend religious something. Let's see what this says. To defend religious profiling. Let's just say some of his ideas were not popular with the left. Maintain and continue Bush's rendition policy. Oh yeah, remember he was going to change that. Let's see. Escalates war in Afghanistan. Yeah, that's a war that's still going on. I don't know. Are we ever going to get out of Afghanistan? I don't know how. Didn't pass single payer health care, even with the following congressional makeup. There's the House. There's the Senate. Oh, see, remember, it's funny. What was the only thing he really, all these things that he said he wanted to do, and he had pretty much, he had 59 Democrats in the Senate plus John McCain. Probably could have gotten anything he wanted done, but he chose some different things. Oh, shoot. Did I miss it? Oh, I accidentally knocked out my bookmarks. Where was it at here? Here we go. Let's see. Legitimize the coup in Honduras. Yeah, destabilized a country. I wonder if he could have been impeached for that. I don't know. Lobbied to lower the minimum wage in Haiti to just 30 cents an hour. Wow. Minimum wage for me, but not for thee. And that was part of the WikiLeaks leak. Started droning in Pakistan, coup in Ukraine. What? Hold on. What? He meddled with Ukraine? Obama admits U.S. role in Ukraine overthrow. Did we intervene in a foreign election? This is from, let's see, February 2nd, 2015. Speaking on RT yesterday. Oh, Russia Today. Well, that's Russian propaganda. Speaking on RT yesterday, RPI Executive Director Dana McAdams wonders whether President Obama spoke a bit too freely in his recent CNN interview. In the interview, the president told CNN that the U.S. government had brokered a deal to transition power in Ukraine. What? This admission that the U.S. was playing a role in the February 2014 coup flies in the face of the dominant West narrative, which is that the overthrow of the Yanukovych government was solely a possible uprising. Did not know that. Okay. What else did he do? Let's see. Makes Bush tax cuts permanent. Also remember the makeup of Congress when he did that. Same thing. Which, I don't know. Thought police brutality was police acting stupidly. Oh, come on. Anyway, it's a long list. You know what? I'm going to put the top tweet of that thread in there. If you want to go through it, it's all the list of the things that the left was mad at Obama about. So I guess it wasn't just us. Okay. All right. Back to my bookmarks. What else did I bookmark here from the weekend? Oh, this is interesting. So apparently, hello, Populist Revolt. Welcome to the show. I hope you guys are getting behind the America First movement. You got to define that populist revolt. I am not a friend of the establishment Republicans, and I certainly am not a friend of the established Democrats. I think personally that the things that Trump has been accomplishing have been in the right direction. I think we need to absolutely need to control the border. I think we need to look at our immigration system and at least make it so we know who's coming. Okay. But I guess you'd have to define the America First movement. So I don't know. Anyway, let's see. Oh, so this is interesting. So apparently Pete Buttigieg, apparently put out a list of black people who endorse his plan. And half of those people were white, and the other included stock photos from Kenya. Oh, here, hang on. C. Thomas with the $1 super chat via Streamlabs in the link down below. Remember that whatever our holiest man and savior Obama can do Remember that whatever our holiest imam and savior Obama can do no wrong, and that all he does was just and good. Don't you dare refute Obama, otherwise face the wrath of the individualist cult of personality that will cancel your ass because civility is evil. You know what? I saw someone in the chat when we started talking about that. I noticed that they said people who buck Obama's advice probably should be careful. Because Obama has a machine like no other, and he has a mailing list like no other. And it's interesting that he hasn't endorsed anyone, particularly Joe Biden, his former vice president, because I don't necessarily think Obama endorses Joe, period. Joe was kind of a balance for his ticket, but I don't think Joe Biden is the guy that Obama wants to be president. And I think he's way, way more establishment than you would expect compared to who's running now and compared to the things you're hearing in the Democratic side. Obama was very good at basically his little "yes, we can" message. He was kind of Trojan horse. He was let me give you an example. Remember when the former president was speaking with the Russian foreign minister, and he was telling the Russian foreign minister, wait till after I get elected, because then I'll have much more flexibility, right? Otherwise known as a Trojan horse kind of thing. So Obama was very good at, he'd talk about this, and he thought about his healthcare plan, which, that was the only thing he pushed. Did he even push the healthcare thing through during the first term when he still had all the House and Senate? I don't know. He didn't get much done. There was a whole lot of shit that people wanted him to get done that he didn't get done. And hey, believe me, I am almost grateful that he didn't get some of the stuff he wanted to push through because I didn't agree with it. Okay, I didn't think it would make our country better. I don't think it would have helped things. Oh God, some of these comments. Good morning, Maniac Man. How you doing? Oh my gosh. By the way, more thanks. Thank you, G Prime. for your retweet of the show this morning. I really appreciate it. I'm not going to read some of these. He used Joe because he needed a VP somehow. He needed someone. He needed an establishment VP, and he got that in Joe because that helped him seem less out there. But anyway, let's get back to Buttigieg though. So apparently, Pete Buttigieg put out a list of 400 black South Carolinians that endorse him or his plan. A lot of the people are confused because they didn't endorse him. 42% of the list is white. They used stock photos from Kenya, yet we've heard nothing from his campaign. So he took some heat over that. For example, here's the one where they used the stock photo. On top of everything else, the Buttigieg campaign used a stock photo from Kenya to promote its Frederick Douglass Plan for America. This is according to The Intercept. Let's see if this article's out here real quick. Pete Buttigieg touted 3 major supporters of his Douglass Plan for a Black America. They were alarmed when he said it. Pete Buttigieg has shown a remarkable staying power with the Democratic in the president. And you know what? He's leading in Iowa right now. I think he's leading, or is okay. The polls for these Democratic candidates in all these different states are really weird. Okay, they are all over the place. And it's funny. I noticed, like, for example, and I don't even remember who pointed this out, but for example, when there was a point where Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren was leading, like, by 2 points over Sanders, and the next person down was Biden. They were all pretty close, right? And the headlines are all Warren has a lead. And then in another poll, when it said Bernie Sanders was at like 22% and Warren was at 19% and Biden's at 18%, they're saying this Democratic race is too close to call. And there's there's never been a candidate at this point that only had 21% that has won the nomination. So basically, for some reason, the establishment doesn't want Bernie. It's just the way it is. And more power to him. I don't want Bernie either. Bernie's never run anything in his life. Bernie's never had a job in his life. Bernie's never written a paycheck to anyone in his life because he's never run anything except for campaigns and has been in Congress. He's never had a real job. So I don't know how a person who's never had a real job suddenly knows how everything would work. Even, I don't care if he's been in Congress for however many freaking years he's been in Congress. That's the only thing he's ever done. It's like, you know what? I had some professors in college, and you take a course in college with a professor who's never done a job other than be a professor to talk about it, a business course. And then you get in the business course, and you learn a completely different thing when you get into the company. So that's how I see Bernie. He's done nothing but be in government. He's always had free healthcare. He's always had, he's had his never had to worry about his minimum wage or having to produce anything. He's never had to be excellent, right? He's never had to be better at his job to make more money. He's just had to be there. He never had to be the best. And clearly he hasn't been the best because how much legislation has Bernie Sanders passed as a congressman in his 30 whatever years he's been in Congress? I don't know, probably not much. So who wants that as your president? He's never run anything. But he sure has a lot of ideas about how things would work if you completely changed them in this country. He doesn't know shit. Other than books he's read. Oh, sounds like Ranavascio sounds like a modern day Karl Marx. I don't understand the appeal by Bernie Sanders other than the fact that he's going to give you a lot of free shit, right? He's going to give you a lot of free stuff. Everything's going to be free under Bernie Sanders, and everything's going to be free under yeah, remember, it's funny how everyone, when we have a lot of things, all of a sudden socialism would make it work better. What? You wouldn't have any of these things if we were socialists before. So anyway, all right. So anyway, Pete Buttigieg and he apparently was trying to pander to black people because Buttigieg isn't popular with black people. Okay. More people like Bernie, some like Warren, Kamala kind of had a built-in thing, but speaking of Kamala Harris. Oh, dear Kamala Harris. So I don't know if you saw this over the weekend. There's this tweet by ABC News. Okay. And I found it interesting. This tweet by ABC News, and it's an article that they put out. Is Kamala Harris proof that America isn't ready for a woman of color as president? Because she brought that up in whatever she said. Is Kamala Harris proof that America isn't ready? Now, and it pointed to an article that she put out there. It pointed to, there was an article. In fact, let's see. I think Pincalo has here's the link to the article. Okay. Thank you, Pincalo. By the way, this was pointed out to me by Pincalo. Let me do a full screen on this so you can see the whole thing. And here we go. Let's, okay. It didn't. Oh, here we go. Oh, I don't want to hear the music. Here, let's mute this. So Kamala Harris represents California in the U.S. Senate, serves on 4 committees. Prior to that, she served as the Attorney General of California. Okay, I don't care about that. In May, Senator Kamala Harris stood before the largest chapter of the NAACP and focused her remarks around one subject, electability. 5 months later, Harris would call the issue of her electability the elephant in the room during an interview with Axios. Harris, a woman who is both black and Indian American. Oh, now that's interesting. You ask the people who call themselves ADOS, which stands for American Descendants of Slaves, ask them if they think that Harris is both black and Indian American. Oh, contraire, according to them, because even though she has black skin or skin that is that of an African descent, both her parents are immigrants. So, but some of the ADOS people don't like her, but just are very, let's just say, sensitive about that distinction. Harris, a woman who is both black and Indian American, wondered aloud if America was ready for a woman and a woman of color to be a president of the United States. Now, let me just... This is a very, very interesting question because she hasn't done well in the primary. She was the darling at first. And I think Hillary Clinton wanted Kamala Harris to do well. And there's a certain amount of the Democratic establishment wanted Kamala Harris to do well. But she has never done well because, one, she has a really tough time answering difficult questions. And so whenever there's a difficult question or a question of things that maybe just aren't kosher with her, she get that little goofy cackling laugh, that laugh where she, very nervous. But let me get back to my point here. ABC raising this issue and Kamala Harris raising this issue, is America ready for a woman and a woman of color to be president of the United States? Well, first of all, let me give you just an answer to that question. Sure, why not? I don't think people give a shit about what your color of your skin is and if you're a woman, but you're not the woman that they want, okay? There are women of color who I absolutely would consider to be president of the United States, okay? I'd consider Nikki Haley or Condoleezza Rice or, I don't know. There's others out there. I'm not going to try to name a bunch, but yeah, there's if a very very good America interested black woman was running for president who had conservative values and and worked from our country out instead of from outside in, absolutely I'd be able to support a woman of color, but not that particular woman of color. And also, interesting, are Americans ready? Wait, hold up. You're still in the Democratic primary, lady. So you can leave the rest of Americans out. Are Democrats ready for a woman of color to be president of the United States? Because that's the only people you're running against, and you're at about 1.5% of those people who are going to be voting for your nominee. So don't bring the rest of us Americans into this. Are Democrats ready for a woman of color? And that's the only people you should be worried about right now, and apparently they're not. By the way, ABC News deleted that tweet. They left the article up, but they deleted the tweet, which I just find is hilarious. See, there it is. It failed to load because they deleted the tweet. I think they weren't getting the response in Twitter that they were expecting, because a lot of people brought up the point that, she's still in the Democratic primary, so maybe you should ask the Democrats if they're ready. The question should be, is Kamala Harris proof that Democrats aren't ready to have a woman of color as their nominee for president of the United States? Okay, so what else we got here? I've got let's see. I'm supposed to be in bookmarks, not in that. So let's see. Now, this is a great article I read by, I can't remember Jeff's last name. He writes for Red State. Oh, this isn't by Red, but unfortunately, Representative William Hurd, who's an African-American Republican senator, is not going to rerun for election, I think. Retiring U.S. it's a representative, excuse me, not senator. William Hurd is spearheading a new group to elect more diverse slate of Republicans across the country. Now, this is interesting, and it's kind of a catch-22. All right. I would love to see more people of African descent or other races, whatever, become part of the Republican Party, but not because they're people of whatever color or race or intersectional, traditionally grievance group they're from. I just want people who have the same values. And you'd be surprised. There's a lot of people. Let's just take the black community. There's a lot of people in the black community who are conservative as far as what they believe, their social values, even when it comes to the values of like economics. But there's always been this, there's always been this, well, not always, but there's this stigma of not being a Democrat when you're black, okay? And so, but there are a lot of conservative people who just happen to be people of color. I hate that fucking term, by the way. Who would be great as part of either not the Democrats, but of the Republican Party. And you're seeing it in some of these things, the walk away and the Blexit, which I'm not a fan of Blexit. At least I'm not a fan of the figurehead, namely Candace Owens. But like I said, I think the idea is sound. That is that, okay, I want people to think about what they're voting for when they vote. And a lot of black people who are conservative could easily vote for that other party that I've voted for many years, or at least in most elections. if they understood what the difference, if they not even understood, if they didn't feel like they didn't belong there. And so sometimes you got to go, hey gang, you know what? If you're voting for this is what you're voting for. Which, do you believe in this and this and this? No. Well, guess what? These people over here believe this, this, and this. And also feel like you should have the freedom to do this and this and this. Okay? And particularly in my own case, I just think, you know what? I don't want more state control of anything. The state already controls too much shit. And so when someone says, oh no, now the state's going to control your health care, I'm like, wait a minute. I don't think of it as because of the color of my skin or what color my father is. That's a bad idea. I think that's a bad idea because I don't want the entire healthcare system to be like the VA. Or even like they keep saying Medicare for all, like Medicare for all is a great thing and that, you know, seniors love their Medicare. Well, seniors that I know who have to supplement it anyway and then have to kind of, you know, figure out where the hell the doctors are going to accept their Medicare because they don't accept it everywhere. I've never met someone who said, oh, you know, they like their Medicare because it's paid for, but they don't necessarily like how the system works. And especially the VA. I'm sorry, I'm not ready for that. I'm plenty happy with the healthcare that I worked the UPS to get that. I'm happy with my healthcare. I don't want to mess with my healthcare at all. So, but these guys want to give it to you free. Huh. Well, you know what? The VA is free for veterans. Do you want to go through that system? Oh, no. And do you have decent healthcare now where we work now? Well, yeah, it's really good. Okay, well then why do you want to vote for that? Oh, never thought of it that way. That's what I'm talking about. I don't care if, you know, I just want people to look at what they're voting for and is that really what fits? But you know what? It's been beaten into our heads that, well, Republicans are for white people. Trump likes the white nationalists and this and that. And it's like, Trump don't give a shit about your race. Okay. He himself don't give a shit. Okay. You know, people want to try and call him racist. I just think he thinks when he says, and this is the messaging that really he needs to get better at when he says, make America great again. Okay. And they say, oh, well, America was never great. It was never great for black people. And it was great for women when the women couldn't vote and blah, 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 blah. Not make America great. Not make America white again. Make America great for everybody. Okay. Make it so that everybody can fulfill their potential and make it so everybody can find jobs and make it so you know, when America, you know what? Hey, guess what? When I say make America great again or keep America great again, you all are Americans, right? So it's for everybody. Okay. And that's the one failure in his messaging that I think he missed. All right. I want him to make it clear that you're not just making America great for white people. Remember, and you know, here's my thing on that. America was never great. And people say, oh, well, what about slavery? What about when we killed, you know, what about the women not being able to vote? Well, guess what? I say this all the time. Really? Was America great when within one generation of becoming a country, we abolished slavery? An institution that had gone on for 200-300 years on this continent and for thousands of years around the world. Once we became a country, within one generation, we abolished slavery. That's not great. Okay. When we realized that, you know, and when people came out and protested the fact that they weren't allowed to vote, and rather than killing them in the streets like that might happen in other countries or putting them in jail like that would happen in other countries, we said, you know what? America was able to change. That's another generation later. We're able to change, and now women got the vote. You don't think that makes America great? That we can make a change like that, a fundamental change in how things work in the world. Wasn't that great? When the civil rights marches of the 60s, and we were able to make a fundamental change in how we treated people in the nation, that's just 2 generations or 1 generation from slavery, because you got to remember, I think about my great-grandfather. My great-grandfather was born a slave. My great-grandfather was born a slave. And in his children's lifetime, now first of all, he was 7 years old when slavery ended. But he was born a slave. And then his children got to see the civil rights struggle and the changes of laws and the desegregation of schools in Arkansas and everything like that. Now, not everything has worked, but you know what? His children saw that. And his grandson, my father, the man who adopted me, was the first black person to graduate from his university in the late 60s. That doesn't make America great. Or my other grandfather, who was a black man coming in his formative years in the late 20s, early 30s, who was able to get a law degree during the Great Depression. You think my grandfather thought this country was great? Yes, he did. So you can either focus on what the terrible things were in America that weren't great, or how we were able to change those things that were terrible that make it great. That was great. Or the fact that we got out of this just terrible situation in the 70s from an economy standpoint where the country was just falling to shit. And then coming into the 80s, my formative years are in the 80s and 90s, okay? I was a child in the 70s. I was finished high school and college in the 80s. In the 90s, I was coming into my, true adulthood, okay? And I think, well, when I was a young kid, the economy in this country was shit. Everyone was, everyone was in this kind of, well, what was it? What did Jimmy Carter call it? The the Malays or something like that. But in the 80s, our country became strong again industrially, and people were getting jobs again. Even the 50s, were the 50s great? Even though the laws weren't perfect, was the 50s great as our country was able to expand? Were we great when we saved the world? When we were part of that coalition that saved the world from the Nazis in the 40s? Was America great then? America was never great. What the hell are you talking about? Was it great in the 80s when, as the remnants of the civil rights movement I've got to watch this because I was a child. Martin Luther King was killed on my 4th birthday, and I was a child. And I lived in Omaha at the time, or in the Midwest, whatever. And so it wasn't like living in the South at all. But there was plenty of racism then. And as I grew up and through my high school years, or school years, and I get to my high school, that's a very diverse high school, and we had our student body officers were like the United Nations. I mean, our student body president was a black woman. I think she's a lesbian. I'm not sure. We assumed that, but no one ever really brought it up back then. Our vice president was this Italian, he's a Italian guy. Our treasurer was a Chinese guy. We had a total WASP in their student body officers. We had if you look at it, you'd like, someone wrote that for a TV show. That's not real, but it is. But as the racial tensions began to loosen all into the 70s and in the 80s, and you saw people starting to understand that people are just people. Now, granted, there's places where things are very tough, and we're tough all through that time, and there's still places that are very tough now, but the difference between people living now are acting like we're back in the Jim Crow era. We're not. And the opportunities are there if people just see them. You know? Sean Boy, I bet you could sing every word of Rapper's Delight. Almost. That song came out when I was in 8th grade. And that was... yeah, I'm not going to do it now. But anyway, but the greatness of America, to me, is that we're... greatness, I don't know the words. You know, people like to shit on the idea of American exceptionalism, but when someone says American exceptionalism, they don't mean that America's better than every other country. What they mean is America is kind of an exception to how the rest of the world works. Although, whereas we are from so many different racist countries, ideologies, religions, and we live in this nation where we still can still be one, still be in America, e pluribus unum, okay, out of many one. And the exceptionalism is that we're different in how we began our government as a representative republic. We are different in that even though we have all these different backgrounds, we seem to make it work. It doesn't work that way in most countries. Japan is not a diverse nation, even though they have a lot of great things there. Most of the countries in Europe are not diverse nations, although they're starting to get this influx of immigration that's not working for them. It's funny. People talk about how, Ilhan Omar is Somalian and whatever. And so there's a lot of Somalians here in the Twin Cities. But guess what? A vast majority of the Somalian people that I know, and I know a lot, there's a couple at work, there's a lot of Somalian people here. A lot of them still have somewhat embraced the idea of what America is. Okay? And so despite the fact that we have those people who have gone and have been recruited for ISIS and blah, blah, blah. That's not the average Somalian immigrant, okay? The ones that I know, and especially the young ones I know, the kids of the people who've come here, they're just American kids now. A lot of them are just American kids, hang out with their friends, play hoops, play sports, do this, do that, do their work at school. They're just American kids. They're becoming American kids, and that's the exception. You think that people don't assimilate. You'd be surprised how people do assimilate. Now, some don't, but that happens in a lot worse in other countries. Yes, we have a concentrated area of Somalians than in Minneapolis, for example. But man, I know a lot of those kids, great kids, and just they adapt to what their friends they meet in their schools do, and it's great, and that's kind of an exception in the world. You can't go into Saudi Arabia and be different. Or that ain't cool. Okay, here you could be different, but still be a part of what it means to be an American, and that's the cool thing about America. That's the exceptionalism I think people talk about when they say American exceptionalism. So anyway, I don't know why I got on that rant. Real quick, I'm way behind time here. Let's just do a quick scan of what's trending on Twitter today, because that's what we do here. We find out what people are talking about now, so we can figure out what people are going to be talking about in the afternoon and what videos you're going to see people make things about tomorrow. So, trending number one, it's one of those day Twitter things. Let's see which one I do on here. Let's go. Let's check the laptop. Trending number one on Twitter is Monday motivation. Because it's Monday, and you got to have a Monday one every Monday. Oh, new Baron Garrison cartoon for your Monday motivation. The Ukraine cookie jar. Follow the cookie crumbs. Read the post at. Okay, so. Okay. There's the Ben Garrison cartoon, if you can see that. He turned on the light. Aha! We caught you, Kerry, Romney, Biden, and Pelosi, with all with their Ukraine cookies. Yeah, so if you get that... Take it easy, C. Thomas. Thank you so much for the super chats through the Streamlabs. I appreciate you, man. Have a good day. I'll probably see you on HB stream later. So if you don't understand this particular cartoon, Kerry, Romney, Biden, and Pelosi all have relatives who work for Ukrainian energy companies. How weird could that be? How weird can that be? And, it's funny that we're not hearing more about that. Anyway, so that's his thought for the day. Let's see anything. Let's find an actual Monday motivation, though. That was just kind of a funny one. Let's see. Law of Attraction says, remember to work hard, be positive, keep learning, show gratitude, be kind and giving, laugh and smile a lot, and focus on happiness. That's your Monday motivation for the day. Moving on to number two. Number 2, Love Tour 2020. Oh, God. Is this going to be... If this is K-pop, I'm going to be pissed. What's Love on Tour? Let's see. Let's check it out. Let's see. I've done nothing but love and cherish Harry Styles for the past decades. Oh, God. Harry Styles is going on tour by himself. What? Is he from One Direction? Any of you more or less seasoned people than I could probably tell me if Harry Styles is from One Direction. Anyway, let's see. Since I know some people who can't afford to buy tickets for Harry's tour and would do anything to go on tour, retweet this and I'll choose someone and buy a pair of tickets for you for a show of your choice. UK and EU only. Love on Tour. Oh, that's very kind. I couldn't give two rats patoots on a Harry Styles tour. Number 3, Monday Mood will skip. Oh, OK Trumper is trending. Oh, isn't that cute? Kind of like OK Boomer. Oh, gee, how clever. So OK Trumper's trending. This is my favorite response to the whole he tells it like it is comment. OK Trumper, I'm going to eat you and everyone's sheep. Okay, oh, isn't that cute? Let's see. We've tried talking this out with Trumpers. They argue in bad faith, refuse to listen, and treat it all like a game. It's like playing chess with a pigeon. Doesn't matter how good I am at chess, the pigeon is gonna shit on the board and act like it won. So, okay, Trumper, really, what have you tried talking out with Trumpers? Most of you just scream and yell and throw milkshakes. So what have you tried to work out? Huh? Just curious. Let's see. Okay, Trumper, love it when a plan comes together. Ever notice the same people who voted for Trump because he says what he means have spent the last years explaining he didn't mean what he said? Oh, yeah. Gee, politicians who say things that are ambiguous at best? Okay, yeah. Let's see. When you realize you paid $1 million to incarcerate yourself, okay, Trumper. I don't think Sondland's going to incarcerate himself. What's that mean? So this is just a Twitter hashtag for the bitter. Moving on. I don't care. You know what? Again, I'm not a Trumper, but I'm not an anti-Trumper by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not a sycophant, but I don't, whatever. Monday motivation, don't kill yourself like Epstein didn't. Thank you, John Boy. By the way, good morning, John Boy. I meant to say hello a long time ago because I saw you show up, but I didn't say hello. But moving on. Where the hell did my list go? Oh, here we go. Number 5 is a Monday one. I'll skip that. Oh, 70% of Americans. This is from an ABC poll that says, not an ABC poll, Ipsos Factos poll or whatever. 70% of Americans say Trump's action tied to Ukraine were wrong. A slim majority of Americans, 51%, believe Trump's actions were wrong and he should be impeached and removed from office. Okay. You know what? I went through that Ipsos poll. And it's unusual because most polls have a margin of error of 2 to 3%. This poll had a margin of 5%. It didn't give you the breakdown of the demographics of the poll. So I don't know if this is an oversampled poll or what. I don't know. This says, let's see, according to ABC poll, 70% of Americans think Trump's actions tied to Ukraine are wrong. Huh? I'm reminded of another ABC poll. Clinton vaults to a double-digit lead. This one. Let's see. ABC Ipsos poll. 70% of Americans believe Trump did something wrong. 57% want him impeached. 51% want him impeached and removed from office. 21% made this decision after last week's hearings. That's false. That's not what the poll said. The poll said 21 people made a decision after the hearings. So that could have gone, some people decided one way or the other. So that's wrong. But again, they are terrible numbers if you believe polls. But clearly, and you know what? The polls may be right. That may be true. We'll see what happens. But, polls have been fantastic in the era of Trump, haven't they? They've all been completely accurate, and every single one poll has been perfect, right? They've all said the exact same thing. Yeah, you know what? So if Democrats are 50% of the population, you're probably going to poll. Democrats hate them. Republicans, at least for the most part, don't agree with that either. So, and he has a pretty decent rating with Republicans. So I don't know. It is what it is. All right, moving on. Go on, which is something. K-pop, get off my screen. Tanny. What is Tanny? Is that something? Tanny. Here's a I think this is supposed to be compilation, but here's a complication of Tanny growing up because we need it. Tanny must be some dog. He's called Tanny Lion King, and our Tanny Uwu, whatever that means. Is it? Oh, no, fuck no. This is a K-pop person's dog. I don't care. It's K-pop. Hey, Ford Mustang. Ford unveils electric. Wait a minute. Hold up. What did that say? Ford unveils electric Mustang SUV. A Mustang SUV to challenge Tesla's dominance. Well, you know what? Okay. Oh, I see. Oh, so this is their new Mustang SUV. I don't like that color. Is hideous. Is that what it's going to look like? Let's see. The Mustang Mach-E GT electric SUV. Why are they making a Mustang SUV? Can't they make it an Explorer or something? The Mustang isn't synonymous with SUV. Mustang is synonymous with performance pony sports car. Why are they calling it now the electric vehicle? Great. I'm sure that this is great for the electric vehicle market. Oh, here it is. Is this it right here? Okay, so this is pictures of it. But I don't understand why they're making a Mustang SUV. That completely changes the platform. But good. There's more companies coming out with electric cars. I got a feeling though, we're going to realize that they're going to find out 5 years down the road that these electric cars are worse for the environment than the just how things go are worse for the environment than the combustion engine cars. They're going to find a way. If it's mining of cobalt or whatever, they're going to find some reason, But good. If you like electric cars and want to try them, check out the Mustang SUV. Moving on. Drea. Who is Drea? Is this some kind of someone? Okay, someone named Drea is Drea someone on American Idol? Who is Drea? Oh, after seeing Drea's Fenty vid, this video is even more crazy. Whoever Drea is, we'll find that out later. Apparently, it's someone who shakes their hind parts. Victory Monday, that has to do with the NFL. We'll skip that. Seung Choi, that has too much in common with K-pop, I'm not even clicking it. American Express is trending because, let's see, Ticketmaster is a company that thrives off the exploitation of music and sports fans everywhere. They claim to sell you the best tickets, yet give priority access to resale companies and individuals who support their sister companies like American Express. In this essay, I will... Okay, people get mad because American Express holders get priority seats regarding Ticketmaster. Oh, okay, there's only 2 more. There's no reason for faulty codes to be sent out or for American Express cardholders to exclusively get pit tickets or for fans to be waitlisted in the verified presale even though they followed the correct steps. Ticketmaster is the ringleader in the ticket sale monopoly. Ticketmaster sells their verified presale experience to artists, ensuring that their fans will be the first with access to tickets. They fail to mention that the verified presale process has many loopholes, including allowing scalpers to infiltrate the system in order to sell tickets. So people are pissed off at American Express for that, but what else? I mean, is that all this is about? Why are they trending? Oh, apparently someone's trying to get presale tickets for something. Oh, they're mad because people are trying to get Harry Styles tickets. Random. Okay. Apparently, Harry Styles is very popular, and I know he is because he was part of One Direction, and One Direction was a phenomenon. And so a lot of people are pissed off at American Express because the presale tickets, American Express card holders are getting priority. So that's why it's trending. Jason Williams, a.k.a. White Chocolate, is trending. I don't know why. The White Chocolate Highlight Mix returns in time for Jason Williams' 44th birthday. If you're not familiar with Jason Williams, former NBA player who had eyes... I don't even know where his eyes were in his head because he could see stuff and did some crazy stuff. And so this is a little highlight reel of Jason Williams right here with his no-look passes and his and he had some handles. He was fun to watch. I don't know why his NBA career didn't last as long as you thought, but he just he's one of those dudes who some of these passes are just crazy, dude. It's incredible. He was incredible to watch. Oh, he did a little dunk on some dude too. Did a fake behind the back pass and pulled up for a jump shot. He left that guy that guy's shoes were still stuck to the floor. Okay, so there we go. Apparently it's Jason Williams' 44th birthday today. Happy birthday to Jason Williams, NBA legend. And American Express, we already know why. Corey Schneider's trending. Who is that? Don't know. If you hate Corey Schneider, I hate you. The man gave everything he had in a Devils uniform, literally until his body couldn't take it anymore. He played in front of some of the worst Devils teams we've ever seen. If this is the end, Corey, thank you for being my number one. Apparently, goaltender Corey Schneider is being placed on waivers today, and I guess there's a few people not happy about it. All right. So anyway, he's a goalie for the Devils, and I don't follow hockey that much, so that's okay. Deface the Nation. Oh, that's an interesting thing. Let's see. Oh, because Trump tweeted it. If Trump tweets it, it will trend. Okay, so his tweet is, "Are crazy, do nothing, where's USMCA, infrastructure, lower drug pricing, and much more. Speaker of the House, nervous Nancy Pelosi, who is petrified by her radical left, knowing she will soon be gone. They and fake news media are her boss. Suggested Sundays deface the nation," which is he's making fun on Face the Nation, "that I testify about the phony impeachment witch hunt. She also said I could do it in writing, even though I did nothing wrong, and don't like giving credibility to this no due process hoax. I like the idea and will, in order to get Congress focused again, strongly consider it." So he's considering doing testifying and writing on all this other crap, and I don't know, whatever, I don't care. So deface the nation is trending because Donald Trump said it. There you go. That's why. Moving on, if you want to check that one out yourself, you can. And finally, oh wow, did that move up already, or did it just? Oh, and as fast as it was in the trending, it is now gone from trending. So there you go. Watermelon Pit is trending. What? Security kicking me and my Photoshop ticket out of the watermelon pit. I don't know what the hell that means. When you literally put all of your payment information in and had 2 watermelon pit tickets and hit complete in order. Okay, this is about. Okay, the Harry Styles concerts apparently are causing great havoc in the world. And I could care less about Harry Styles. I just don't. Finally finishing up with Morgan Frost, whoever that is. Morgan Frost on the ice this morning. Okay, somebody named Morgan Frost is doing something having to do with ice and hockey. And the Flyers have recalled Morgan Frost and sent Carson Taransky down. Okay, he's a hockey player. That's it. All right. Free tickets to a Hillary Clinton conference, but you may become a statistic. Clinton body count. All right, guys, that's it for today. I've had enough fun. Hopefully you've had fun too. I'm glad you're still here. If you got here early and stayed the whole time, if you haven't done so, please, 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 on the way out, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. And if you ever want to do a donation or do super chats, we do have that little Streamlabs link in the description down below. The Morning Night Live is here Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 2 p.m. Excuse me, not 2 p.m., 3 p.m. GMT for those of you in other parts of the world. Oh, by the way, thank you for dropping in Gulf City Cult of Krill, Quinn the Cultist. Who did I miss? Mike Savage I said hi to earlier. I think I got everybody for the most part. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate you so much. But it is time for me to go. I'm so glad we had this time together just to have a laugh or sing a song. Seems we just get started, and before you know it, comes the time we had to say so long. My name is P-Dog Knight, and I am out of here. Have a great day. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.